Glad I took the long road. Shortcuts to the game, that's a no-no. Least traveled on my journey, I'm a lone soul. Dark times gave me glow. Everything I needed was on this path, I swear I never cheated. Pushing for a reason. So many times I fell, but I got back on my feet. So that's why I'm undefeated, no.
Everybody, this is Mike Double Mo. I'm here with my special guest,
Tywan Dill, the Mather class of 2014.
Mark Allen, the Mather class of 2014.
Austin Tuck, the Mather class of 14.
Hey, so look, man, this is my first group of guys. I think we're missing like one or two guys. I think JJ kind of was in that mix. Yeah. So we're missing one or two guys, but this is the first backfield that I coached, right? And this was like my first year coaching, like, you know, coming onto the scene, man. And these are the guys who trusted me, who believed in me. And, man, and I'm appreciative of it. And to have them back on the show, I know the show before this, we had coaches who mentored me and coached me, right? And you're going to kind of hear a lot of the similarities that they talked about, and you'll see how I picked up a lot of their ways by just hearing their perspectives of me or whatever. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask, man, like what was your perception of me before I started coaching you guys? Like when I walked in that gym that day, what was your perception then? And then what's your perception now of me? And trust me, like we're going to have fun, but you know, I think it'll be good for you guys to kind of share this.
I'll go first. My perception of Coach Mo, I was scared. They just had moved us up to varsity. I seen him in the gym because we were used to Coach Brooks. He said he was going to be our running back coach. And then he showed up and, he just had that stale look in his face. And I was just like, oh, he about to kill us. Like, I was just nervous. I was scared. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to make it at running back. But, at the end of my career, 2014, when I graduated, I could say it was the best thing that ever happened to me because, a guy coming from playing tight end and DN, to Coach Mo developing me into a running back, to go to a big school, and play and be prepared to play at that level. Some guys aren't prepared to play at that level, and he definitely, taught us things beyond the high school level. And we didn't think it was hard or anything. We just went with what he said because we believed in him and he believed in us. So, we did what we were supposed to do for him.
Yeah, when I first met Mo, it was definitely like Tywan said. It was I could see him being a stiffler. I'm like, all right, we about to go and work out. It's gonna be a lot of screaming, yelling. But as time passed, we went through it. It was like more to football to me, and with me and him. It was more than a game. We developed a bond and a connection where it was anything he said, I trusted him enough. I trusted him fully, actually, to do whatever he said without no hesitation. It's just because of that bond and that strength, that chemistry that we had together. And he had that with everybody in the running back room. And like Tywan said, it definitely carried over for going into college football. We were definitely prepared more than others, and I give 100% credit to Coach Mo and me instilling my faith into him and trusting him to, further my abilities in my game. Not as a player, but as a person on and off the field. And he did a great job with both.
Well, my situation was a little different because I started out playing guard, playing offensive line at DeMatha, and I kind of had to transition myself in the middle of the season because our fullback, he got kicked out, and we didn't have nobody to fill the void. So I talked to him, I talked to Coach Breslin, Coach Brooks, and they said I would have to be playing fullback, and he made it real easy for me. He was just telling me, making sure I'm on my game, making sure I do everything correct. He was real, just making sure that everything that I did was pinpoint accurate, just doing everything, just making sure I do my job, don't worry about nothing else, because it was my first opportunity playing a different position at a high level. And the perception I had of him was I just didn't know what to expect. he wasn't my coach at first, so I never really had any opportunity of actually being around him rather than just seeing him with the running back guys we already had. And going over there, he made it real easy for me and real comfortable for me to just come over and just learn a new position. And I was able to excel, and I started being the starting fullback from then on.
All right, so each one of you guys got a moment that I think about, like when somebody say your name, it's a moment that just pops up, right? So we're gonna talk about each event, right? And for some of you guys, it might be well, matter of fact, it's two. All right, so Tuck, the first one, right, is when you were playing fullback for a while, but then it got to a point where we had to move you back to guard, right? Because someone got hurt. And during that week, like you hated practice. Like anytime they said, Tuck, go back to guard, you was like,
That was terrible.
So then I'm just thinking, all right, when we get to this game, Tuck, you're not even gonna play guard, like you're gonna stay at the fullback.
Yeah.
So eventually, they like, hey, we gotta get Tuck at guard. So I'm like, Tuck, you gotta put the 77 jersey back on. You like, so like to me, like that's one of the things that I think about, right? And then the second time, I remember when you had to make a block in the game, right? And you just basically was like, yo, like I just can't do it. Like, dude is. I ain't gonna say it, but you was just like, yo, I can't do it. But we had that bond where like you would tell me, hey, listen, coach, like this is not a good play because of this, right? And I would just try to teach you like little techniques, or maybe just getting in the way, or like, hey, maybe you don't need to make the crushing block, but just getting in the way and just give us a little path, right? Now, like with Mark, right? One of the times was, because you were always like the emotional guy, like the emotional leader. Like guys love that, right? And I remember like when you went down, we had to play at Gonzaga. And you could just feel like the running back room just wasn't the same. You could feel the running back huddle wasn't the same. And I remember you came to the game, you was on your crutches. And instead of breaking the guys down, I told you to break them down. Because I felt like they wanted to hear your voice. They wanted to hear you, they wanted to hear like Mark, right? And man, that was probably one of the toughest times coaching. Like to see somebody who loved the game so much and you couldn't do nothing but stand back and try to cheer the guys on. I remember that, right? Secondly, I remember when you came back from your injury, right? And you knew, like, so it would be the speech before the game, right? And after a while, I got tired of doing it because it's like, okay, you could talk to Mark before the game about, hey, you still hurt, like, you're not gonna play as much, you might not gonna get the ball as much, and Mark could give you I understand, it's cool, it is what it is, like, I'm hurt, cool. You get in the middle of the game and you pull Mark out, man, I don't understand. Like, Mark, I'm just warming up. Like, Mark, you got this cast on, you got this knee brace on. It's not allowing you to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, just come on. And Mark getting hot or whatever it may be, right? Then, like, I remember with Taiwan, there's 2 times, right? No, actually, it's 3. So I remember one time we're playing, I think, Dunbar. This is sophomore year, right? And the defender's on the ground, and Taiwan just runs to him and falls down. I'm like, Taiwan, why don't you jump over him? And he like, Coach Mo, I can jump over him? I'm like, what? And then it caught me like, yo, you know what? He is just learning how to play running back. Like he doesn't really. So I'm like, Taiwan, the point of this game is to get from here to there without tackling, without going out of bounds, right? So the very next time Taiwan goes in to get the ball, there's there's not even a surge. Like it's like a standstill, a lineman and D lineman, everybody standing up. Taiwan decides, hey, instead of trying to run through because it's no gap or whatever, I'm gonna just try to jump over the whole goddamn pile. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, dog, I'm like, man. So I remember that, right? Then I remember it got to the St. John's game. We played St. John's and St. John's, right? And Taiwan made this block, and the guy, crush and pass pro, like he hits the guy falls down. Then another guy runs past Taiwan because Taiwan is standing over the guy that he just hit, right? And I'm like, Taiwan, you want to win the game? I hit my guy. I said, Taiwan, like once you hit him and you saw he was down, like you should have been looking for somebody else. I mean, I got my guy. I mean, that might have been the guard guy. So this is what he's telling me. And I'm just like, nah, man. Like, so I remember grabbing Taiwan. I'm just like, man, listen, man. Like, in order for us to win this game, we're going to have to do a little bit more in that backfield. You know what I mean? And so I remember that in the last one, before we go to commercial break, I remember when Taiwan had hurt his, I think it was your right hand, right? And I know I preach to you guys all the time. You're on the right side, ball in the right hand. On the left side, ball in the left hand. And he had broke his hand. And I'm just like, dang. I'm like, dang, Taiwan, we about to lose Taiwan. So Taiwan like, hey, Coach Mo, like, I can't use my right hand. Like, I can't play no more. And I'm like, nah, just put the ball in your left hand. He like, but they going to call the play sometimes to the right side. I'm like, all right, just put it in the left hand. Right? And after that, he ended up having like 197 yards. But in that game, he like, man, we can't even call the
250, dog.
250.
Oh,
Yeah,
250.
That's what he said. You ain't hear him.
Oh, I'm saying after the contact, like you already had yards before that, but I'm saying after you had broke your hand, you ran for 197 yards. So those are 3 times. But hey, I know we got to go to commercial break, man. So we'll be right back.
We got to gauge his speed coming towards us. We may have to break down sooner than what we feel like. All right, but we got to make a move. Make the first man miss without trying to swat his hand. We ain't got equipment on, right? So we got to use our feet. That's what's gonna make it even more different, right? We got to be agile. We got to be quick. All right, we're gonna keep working on it, right? Good work.
So my coaching ways, right? And people always say there's always room for improvement. But I don't know, like I looked at you 3 guys, right? And you guys always kind of reminded me of a time of myself. And I would share sometimes with you guys, like how it was for me growing up or me being in college and things like that. Now I know all you guys went to college, right? And we all stayed in touch and things like that, right? Now, when you guys went into the running back room, what was that like? How different was that from being with me at DeMatha and then being in your college running back room?
It was definitely a change for me. I don't know about everybody else, but it was a change for me because I was so used to that, one-on-one bond, the coach, Coach Mo, hey, break it down this way for you. He was just always on top of you. And he cared, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like he cared.
Pause. Go ahead, pause. Go ahead.
I didn't even catch it.
But it was, that bond. And when you go to college, you kind of get that personal bond with your coach, but you're in a running back room with like 6, 7, maybe even 9 other running backs. So it's hard for that coach to, show that bond to 6 or 7, maybe even 9 guys. And, my experience at Wisconsin, we had a couple coaching changes. And I know my first, running back coach that I had, it was older guys in the room. They were playing the most. They were trying to go to the NFL. So, those guys, they were on top of those guys because they knew they could perform. They knew they could do this and that. You just, at the high school level with Coach Mo, it was so personal. It's like the coach believed in you. Coach Mo believed in you. And, you would run through a brick wall for him. When you get to that college level, it's like, you better do this way, that way. It's kind of like the older guys in the room would kind of teach you, things to do. You had to rely on the older, cats in the room to, like, break things down, get extra work with you and talk to you and tell you what you're doing wrong, because when it comes time to sit down and watch film with everybody, the coach gonna point out things, that you did wrong, but it ain't necessarily like he helping you correct it. He just telling you, look, you're not supposed to do that on this play. What are you supposed to do? And if you don't know what to do, you got to ask him or rely on the older guys in the room. And, you know, through my second coaching change, you know, that bond was there. But at the end of the day, on the college level, those coaches, it's their job. You know, they got to take care of their families. So they're going to play who's going to get that done. They're going to play somebody that's going to get 1,000 yards or take the team to a championship, or, you know, those 4th down and ones going to get through that. So, you know, I would say I definitely had a better. I even called Coach Mo when I was in college. I was like, man, I wish you could coach me at Wisconsin, because, like, I personally have missed that bond, and, you know, that he believed in me, and he was like, because I don't care. I was new to running back, and I didn't know everything. You know, I still don't know everything, but I didn't know everything, and he believed in you, and it's just like he made you feel like you was a Division I running back at DeMatha. Like, he made you feel like you was the best in the state.
Yes.
The way he taught you. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough act to follow right there. I mean, Taiwan basically hit a lot of points that I would probably hit. For sure. My main difference, like Taiwan said, I think the development aspect of college and high school was different. It's because when you're in college, it's multiple D1 running backs. It's hard to, like he said, like Taiwan said, like focus on one and really give that genuine connection with him and let him know that this is, like he said, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you're doing right, here's what I want you to do, and here's what I think best suits you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say I didn't have that in college, but it was harder to do it as a college football coach because, one, they're protecting their family, their kids, their job. It's a business at that level. When it was in high school, yes, it was a business of winning championships, but it was more than that. It was a family. It was just way more than just protecting myself in a way. I'm not saying nothing about coaches in the past. I mean, college. I'm just saying that's how it was. But other than that, like, I love both of my experiences. Both of my RB rooms was good. The only difference is the development aspect, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the difference to me was, like, in high school, I was mainly really the only fullback, I would say, and I had that personal connection with Mo because I was the guy they had to rely on for that position by itself. So I had the one-on-one time, I had the extra reps. I would go on scout team and do the fullback reps on scout team or anything of that sort. And at Morgan, when I went to Morgan, it just was a different vibe because it was a different feel, and it was so many guys. It was probably 7, 8 running backs, and the system we ran, we really didn't use a fullback, so I would have to learn how to play fullback in college. So that was a whole different change for me as well, because I only played fullback for a year and a half. I never played fullback before my junior year of high school, so learning fullback was tough, and then going to the college level, learning running back, it was even more tough. So the development and the personal bond I had in college wasn't the same in high school with Coach Mo. I didn't have that teacher, that coach that would just help me with the specific things I had to do for this play or that play. It was just different, and I appreciate Coach Mo for helping me in high school because it helped me to get to the next level.
So you guys experience with me, right? And I know, we sit down, we break bread, we laugh, we joke, we talk about y'all college experiences. We laugh about those, whatever, Do any of y'all see yourselves maybe coaching?
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought about it. I think because I didn't have a coach like Coach Mo in college, I think I kind of like lost the love for wanting to coach because I looked at that coach as like, that's not what I want to be. I want to be more like Coach Mo, but at that level, you make $300K a year, coaching, and you kind of put that aside. You got to go in, you got to do your job because you got to feed your family, or your head coach might get fired. So when I was originally in college, I was like, man, I could see myself as a coach, maybe after I go to the league, but now I kind of, lost the passion. I may actually, try coaching one day, like on a high school level or, even like Little League, just to see if I would want to do it. But right now, it's a no for me. I don't know about y'all.
I mean, like my senior year when I tore my ACL at Penn State, I actually was like a coach. I used to coach like the scout team and stuff on Thursdays. So I actually wanted to dabble in coaching. I was into it, thinking about it a lot. I have passion for football, and me being around the game and standing around the game is something that I always long for. Like, if you love football the way I do, you never want to give it up. I mean, on Sundays, I'm screaming at the TV like I'm still playing football. So the coaching aspect, like, it's never out of the picture, but right now I'm already in one of my future endeavors, so maybe it's on hold, but who knows? I mean, the future is unpredictable, and I don't have the answers to it right now. But I'll tell you what, it's not out of the picture.
Coaching, I wouldn't mind it. I just think I don't know exactly what I would coach, because like my whole life growing up, I played offensive line, so I know a lot of that terminology. I know a lot of.
Why you sit up in the seat like this?
I know a lot of O-line movements. I know protections and reach block, all different types of pulls, things of that sort. So I don't know if I would coach O-line or coach fullback. It's just up in the air.
Got you. So, hey,
I know a lot of reaches and pulls.
Yeah. And he said no pause, but no. So I think even with me with coaching, right? It was all to me. I looked at coaching like, I just want to make sure like they succeed. I want to make sure I give them, put them in the best situation to succeed, right? But to me, I never looked at it as like coaching. I looked at it as like, this is me giving back to my community. This is me helping out like younger guys that they just want an opportunity. They just want to be the best at whatever it is that they decide to do. And speaking of that, right? Like all you guys went to college, you all graduated, right? And to me, that was probably the best thing to ever see. Like to see the pictures. You guys sending me pictures of you guys in cap and gown and you guys graduating, man. Like that's what coaching to me is all about. Is seeing that, man. And if you guys could kind of share like what you guys are doing now. I know Taiwan used to always clown me about, being a cop and things like that. So, I'm interested to hear what you guys are doing now.
What you doing, Taiwan?
What are you doing, Taiwan?
All right, so now, since I've been done with football, I stopped playing back in 2019 fall. COVID came, so I was just looking for a career, looking for something that I could see myself doing, something to keep me active, make me
What you doing, Taiwan? What you doing?
Hey, get to it.
Yeah. All right, so
I'm a cop.
right now, yeah, like I'm
Tango.
I'm involved in law enforcement. Something, just like Coach Mo, I'm involved with law enforcement now. So that's something I've been waiting to do for a long time, and I'm happy I, got the opportunity, and I'm, I'm ready to see, how this pans out for me. Thank you, Tango.
So right now I am a realtor, licensed realtor in Maryland. Something I've always been passionate about. I feel like it's a way to create financial wealth. And my main goal with that is to eventually create an investment portfolio for people and start from there. And I also want to do sports management. So both of those is where I'm at. That's where my mind is, and I'm locked on the target.
Okay, well, I currently work for the government, for FEMA. I'm a Tier 2 technician, IT, and I'm currently in grad school for cybersecurity technology. So I'm just trying to get
Big
in
bag.
that. I'm trying to get
Big money.
more in depth in that field. That's pretty much it.
Big
right
bag.
now.
Hey man, no, hey, so man, like this is pretty dope, man. This is why I coach, man. To to see you guys, grow into men. You know what I mean? And you guys are doing great things out here in the world, man. And what's funny too, man, is that all you guys believed in me when I was in that basement.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people, they never seen that. Some people don't even believe that we was actually in the house basement, but you guys were actually ones that came down to that basement, working out. And then I remember one time you even came down there to speak to the kids, right? I remember a couple times you guys were at Walker Mill Middle School talking to the kids. Mm-hmm. So, man, it's crazy because you guys will always remember like how this thing started. And this thing has the company has gotten to this point. You know what I mean? And I'll say that. Yeah. So, man, I appreciate you guys coming on to the show, man, and we'll probably definitely have you guys back because this was definitely fun, man, and we appreciate it, man. Hey, so we'll see you guys soon, man.
Shortcuts to the game, that's a no-no. Least traveled on my journey, I'm alone, so dark times gave me glow. Everything I needed was on this path, I swear I never cheated. Pushing for a reason. So many times I fell, but I got back on my feet, so that's why I'm undefeated. No.